used to check my phone at night, just in case you'd make it right. I saved a seat inside my plans in hopes you'd show and take my hand. I told myself you needed time, that maybe love just doesn't rhyme. But slowly I began to see that love shows up consistently. I'm not waiting for you anymore. Not by the door, not on the floor. I won't keep writing unseen lines or pause in life to read the signs. I gave you space, I gave you grace, but all you gave me was your chase. I'm closing what I kept before. I'm not waiting for you anymore. I don't regret the way I tried, the soft hello, the quiet cry. But love that needs me still and small was never really love at all. I won't stand by while life moves on, while you stay close, then act withdrawn. If you can't choose me loud and true, then love's not something we both do. I'm not waiting for her heart half there, for midnight thoughts that never care. I want a love that knocks, not hides, that takes my hand and stands with pride. I used to beg in silent ways, but now I'm walking in the days that don't include your open door. I'm not waiting for you anymore. You said enough to make me stay, but not enough to show the way. You touched my hand, then pulled away. You never asked, but made me wait. You gave me nights, but not your days. You smiled, but in a distant haze. You were a door that stayed half closed, and I still knocked like you were home. You almost left me, and that almost broke me. You made it feel like it was near, then vanished when I drew too near. I begged the most. I used to think I asked too much, but now I see I asked for touch. That didn't leave me split in two. When love was something I walked through. Almost love feels safe at first, but slow goodbye is still the worst. And now I choose the kind that stays, not one that flickers then delays. You almost loved me, and I almost stayed, but healing asked me to be brave. I want a heart that opens wide, that doesn't make me choose a side. You taught me what I won't accept, and gave me back the love I kept. So thank you, even if it's late. You almost loved me, but I closed the gate. I used to hold my tears too tight to keep the mood, to keep it light. I'd laugh at things that made me ache, so I was easier to take. I called it love when I stayed still, when I ignored what I would feel. I made myself a softer sound, so no one ever turned around.
But I was never meant to be easy to love, just worth it, not made for shrinking just to fit. Not born to swallow all of it. If love can't hold the highs and lows, then it's not love, it's just a pose. I'm not a whisper, I'm the full script. I was never meant to be easy, just worth it.
I wanna raise myself to stay. I won't walk backwards just to pray
that someone finally sees me clear, while I pretend I have no fear.
I want a love that meets me whole, that doesn't flinch when I lose control. I'm done performing, done with less, done treating truth like it's a mess.
I was never meant to be quiet to keep, meant to be lovely only if cheap. I'm made of edges, made of light. I cry, I break, and still I fight. So if that's hard for you to take, then let me go, make no mistake. I'm not your easy, quiet man. I was never meant to be easy to love, just worth it.
with them each day. But now I see with quiet eyes that love should never make you hide. I'm mourning who I used to be. I used to think loving meant losing me. I used to call it being kind, to put their needs before my mind. But kindness without care for you is just a wound disguised as true. I'm not ashamed of how I gave, but now I'm done becoming brave by disappearing just to prove that I was worthy not to lose. I used to think love meant race, every part that took up space. But now I love in softer ways, the kind that doesn't set me ablaze. And if you leave because I stay true to myself, it's still okay. I'm done with love that asks for me. I used to think loving meant losing me, but now I love and I let me but now I let. You walked away and said no line, just vanished like we had no time. I kept replaying what I missed and blamed myself for all of it. I searched for answers in the void, in text unsent, in words destroyed. I thought if I had meant enough, you'd show some kind of braver love. You left without a word, but I'm still worth one, even if you couldn't face the goodbye I deserved with grace. I used to beg the silence louder, but now I stand in something proud. Your absence never made me less. You left without a word, but I'm still worth one, I confess. I thought your leaving meant I failed, that I was something you unveiled and didn't like enough to stay. But now I see it wasn't that way. The brave don't ghost what they once held. They say goodbye when it's compelled, and love, even when walking out, still speaks, not leaves the heart in doubt. They held me close when I was low, when I stayed quiet just to cope. They loved the girl who needed them, but not the one who learned to mend. They praised me when I stayed unsure, when I said yes and asked no more. But once I spoke and once I stood, they said I changed, and that's not good. They loved me more before I loved myself, when I was soft and needed help, when I kept shrinking to belong, when I made weakness feel like song. But when I found my louder truth, they slowly vanished from the room. And that's how I can clearly tell they loved me more before I loved myself.
They called me kind when I was tired. They liked me more when I admired. But now I don't look up the same,
And suddenly I'm hard to name.
it wasn't me who did them wrong. It's just I grew and they moved on from someone they could gently bend, not someone they would meet unpenned. They love me more when I was breaking down, when I wore silence like a crown. But now I rise with open hands and love myself without demands. And if that makes me not your type, then thank you for revealing light. Real love stays when you rebel. They loved me more before I loved myself. Before I loved myself.